Hey guys, Big Air 01 coming at you with another video on my son's 1983 PW50. This is going to be a little mini series that I'm going to be putting together here. So this is going to be part one on modifications to get some power mods out of this bike. So this bike is a little bit tired. I have noticed obviously some piston slap happening in the cylinder and stuff like that. And so I've decided that I'm going to do three parts to this. The first part I'm going to install some Boyesen power reeds. The second part I'll do the cylinder, the top end, and then the third part will be exhaust and jetting. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Okay, so we're going to start off by using a manual, obviously, to help me and help you guys along with the steps that you need to do. We're going to use procedure number 2 on the removal of the engine. So we're actually going to remove the engine from the frame. It's just easier to do the valves, plus I'm doing the head, so might as well just take it all out. It's not a big deal. So you're going to need some wrenches, a hammer, some sockets, some pliers, a screwdriver, and a few ratchets. And then what we're going to install in this video is the Boyesen power valves, or power reeds, sorry. And they're item number 674, and therefore a PW50. It came with some instructions. We've got some gaskets here. And I'll put a link in the description down below as to the part numbers that I used. And I do have a brand new power reed block that I'm using. You don't have to if you don't want to, but that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use a brand new power reed block because it is an older bike and might as well have a new part in there. So that's what we're going to do today in this episode. So to start us off, we're going to remove the seat, which is 2 bolts here, which pulls this all off. And then I'm going to make it quick and easy. So we've got 2 bolts. I'm going to remove the gas tank as well. So there's a bolt on this side and a bolt on this side, and you've got your little pepcock to remove for the gas tank, and then there's also a little strap inside, which I'll show you. Okay, so next we're gonna do is we're gonna move the exhaust. So you've got a bolt right there, you've got a bolt right there, and you've got 2 bolts on the head itself. So the next part we're going to remove is there's a bolt on the bottom of each side of the shock. So there's one on this side and one on the other side that we're going to remove. And basically the way it's going to work is the whole motor is going to slide out of the frame. Then we're going to remove the rear brake cable. So next is we remove the air box and the carburetor from the intake. Okay, so the next step would typically be you would remove the oil injector pump, but or the connectors to it. But I've got it blocked off. It's part of what I've already done. If you want to check out that video, check it out in my channel. Next, we're going to unplug some of the stator wiring here. So this one here. The rest of the wiring will stay on the bike because it's connected to the bike. We're going to unplug the spark plug wire. Next, we're going to remove this pivot shaft bolt or the nut, and then the bolt on the other side. Get a hammer. You're just going to tap that bolt out. Okay, so that's the intake that comes from your carburetor to the reeds. So before I take those four bolts out, I'm going to clean up around the top of the carb so all the dirt is free and clear of all of the potential falling into the motor. Alright, so now that we got it all clean, we're going to remove the intake manifold with those four bolts in a crisscross pattern, as I'll show you here. And then we're going to take the gaskets and the reed block out of the top of the engine. There we are, the reeds are out. It's pretty wet in there. There's no bottom gasket on that. Okay guys, so I wanted to talk a little bit about the Boyesen reeds. The model for the PW50 is the 674. So I've cut them out of the packaging. It came with some instructions on how to do this. It came with more instructions here. And then obviously it's got the two different reeds. Okay, so these reeds are designed, they're a multi-stage reed made by Boyesen Reeds. I've done a little bit of research on them. Basically, why I'm doing this is because I want more, like better airflow, more air velocity, and more overall power according to Boyesen's website. Obviously, we may have to change some jets in this, but I'm already doing that anyhow because of the exhaust that I'm probably going to put on. So there's a couple things that are different. So this is the stock one. As you can see, they're made out of metal, where these ones are made out of looks like fiberglass. So if this metal one was to break inside the motor, it would cause some catastrophic failure within the motor, where these, if they broke, they would basically just shatter into a million pieces and probably be ground up and probably not cause a lot of damage to your motor. Obviously, these things are an item that need to be replaced on a regular basis. As you can see, I have a new piece here, and I'm not going to use the old one because I got all new gaskets and a new piece. So what we're going to do basically is just take it apart. But I wanted to talk about the reed. So there's two pieces. So the bottom, this piece here is the bottom part of the reed. Okay, as you can look on the map on this little thing here, this is the bottom reed. It's stiffer and it is ported to provide maximum flow and horsepower at high RPM. So that's basically why it's designed. And then these are going to sit on top. So the top pedal is a little bit, it's for that crisp throttle response according to Boyesen. So Those are the reasons why I went with this. Obviously, I'm trying to get some more power out of my son's PW50. So we're going to take the reeds apart here, and then we're going to re-put them back together and install them back in the bike. Okay, so you got your two screws out, and then you're going to have this little plate. And then on the bottom side, it's going to look something like this. Basically, you've got your stock reed stop, okay, and then you've got your metal reeds. So when you're inspecting these, you want to make sure that these are flush against the plate when you put these together. But I'm not using these ones anymore. I'm using the plastic ones. So it's going to look something like that. Obviously smaller ports, but the whole valve will open when you are at max RPM. So the smaller one is designed to go on top. And then you've also got what's called a rev plate. I'm not too sure what that actually entails, but it's going to be something like that. I would imagine it just allows the bike to rev a lot more, and then we're going to put the stopper back on the top, sort of like that. But first, we're going to put some Loctite on the screws. So it recommends blue Loctite. So I'm putting the plate on first, and then I'm going to put the screw through for one of them, like so. I'm going to put the second screw through. Then I'm going to put the bottom plate on. And we're going to try to center it once we've got it all together. And then we've got the top plate. And then you've got your rev plate. And then we've got also, the last thing we've got here is the stop plate, the reed stop plate. So now that we sort of have it roughly where we want it, I'm going to thread them through just to kind of hold it. Then I'm just going to try to center it. The Boyesen says that you have to torque these to 1 Newton meter, so that's not really that much. So we're just going to make them so they're snug. All right, so my reeds are installed. Now, obviously, now you can see sort of the two stages, right? So the whole reed will go up, or it'll only just lift those two. So just depends on what kind of power it's requesting from your throttle input. It'll look like that. So let's go put it back in the bike. Okay, so I've got this surface clean. I've got my intake surface all clean, so I'm ready to put the gaskets on. So looking at the manual, it says that the gaskets have to have like the weird, I guess, design on the top up or against the reeds. So these go in like that. This one actually says it's in the up position. And then we have also this like this. And then we're just going to put some Loctite on the screws and screw it back in. All right, so it doesn't say how tight to tighten these, but it says to cross tighten them so that they're in a cross pattern, I guess. I like using the wrench because you can actually it's a little easier not to strip it that way. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this episode. Obviously, I am not going to be putting back together my bike. If you want to know how to put this back in your frame and put it all back together. I've got some videos on my channel if you want to check it out. In this episode, this video, I just wanted to install the Boyesen multi-stage power reeds, so that it's like the first step in the 3 steps that I want to do to this thing to increase the power on my son's PW50. My next episode will be a removal and installation of the top end. I have purchased a 60cc board cylinder that we'll be installing with a new piston and so on and so forth. Top end basically kit in the future. So if you have any questions or comments, definitely leave them down below. And if you want to check any of my other videos out on my son's PW50, I've got a few videos now on rebuilding it, or restoring it basically, about a year and a half ago that I posted. So definitely check those out. And if you like the video, drop a like and subscribe for more. And thanks for watching.